This following film will explain to you about the Northern Gateway pipeline. This pipeline is a big debate in society. I hope this film will clear your mind about the pipelines. Alright, what is your opinion on the Enbridge pipeline?
I don't think that it should be built in the route that they're proposing to build it.
Alright, how do you think this will affect the environment?
I think that it will leave a negative impact on the environment since it's in an area that will affect Greenland.
Do you think the pipelines will affect the economy in a positive way, in any way?
I think for a little bit maybe, but I'm sure that the economic downfall from it will happen right after. It won't last long.
Okay, do you think the cost is reasonable to build all this?
I'm not really sure.
Are you aware of what type of oil is going through the pipeline?
Yeah, it's crude oil, right?
Yes, correct. Alright, what else is there? And who do you think will benefit the most out of this project?
Government, big oil companies, not really normal people.
Alright, wait, hold on, cut it. Oil spill that happened in the Gulf of Mexico recently?
No.
Well, the oil rig exploded recently, and it released a lot of oil into the oceans.
Oh.
What are your thoughts on that?
That's really bad. You can't clean that up very well.
Yeah,
That's a negative impact.
that's for sure. Alright, well, what are your final opinion on like the pipelines?
I
Northern
really don't think that they should be doing it because it's in such a bad spot, and there's just so many negatives and not very many positives.
I agree with you. Alright, thank you. Have a good day. Even if we need oil for our cars, it's not worth the trouble that it's going to cause to the environment. Ready, go.
Okay. Do you know where the pipeline?
Yeah, the Northern Gateway pipeline. It's supposed to run from northern Alberta through northern BC to the coast, and it's supposed to improve Canada's economy because it's a quicker and more efficient way to get the oil overseas.
Yeah, but do you think it's going to be good for the environment?
No. I know that they say that they're going to take precautions, but anything man-made, you can never be 100% sure that something can't go wrong, right? So
Yeah.
I think at some point there will be a leak or a spill, no matter how many precautions they take. And yeah, there will be environmental damage at some point, especially the fact that in BC we're earthquake prone. How do they protect against a pipeline that could be in a huge earthquake zone, right?
You heard about the Gulf of Mexico oil spill?
Yes.
What a huge damage is going to happen with the pipeline.
Huge damage, yeah.
Are you for or against the pipeline?
I'm undecided right now.
You're in the middle?
Yeah. It's tough because I think obviously Canada being a natural resources based economy, it's going to bring money into Canada, but does that outweigh the environmental risks, right? I have a hard time believing that that's the right way to go. I don't see why they can't find solutions to find a different way other than the pipeline where there's less risk of spills.
But the pipeline just you got to the jobs, 52 permanent jobs. All the rest going to be fired. I think the pipeline will be not good for the Canada.
That's true. Yeah, the jobs
You just a few times.
mostly temporary, right?
Yeah.
And have they said anything? Do you know whether whether they're going to be Canadian workers, or are they planning on bringing in foreign workers to pay them less for this
I
too?
think it will be Canadian workers.
Okay, that would be beneficial, I guess, for
Yeah, you'll be.
Canadian citizens, obviously. But yeah,
Thanks for your help.
you're welcome.
So, Ms. Beeson, do you know about the Enbridge pipeline?
Yes, I know it's a proposed pipeline to go from Alberta to Kitimat, BC, and then tankers will take that oil out to the ocean to Japan, China.
So what are your thoughts on it?
Personally, I'm against the pipeline because I feel that we should be investing in renewable sources of energy instead of continuing to put all of our hope into oil.
So do you think there's any benefits out of it?
Yeah, I do. I know personally a lot of people that have gone and worked in the oil fields in Alberta, and I know that it's a lot of people's livelihood. They depend on that to survive. So I do see that it's a positive impact on our economy. But I think that we could have a positive impact on our economy if we were to get men to build wind turbines and to invest in solar power and other sources of energy.
Where does it take place? Like, where does it start?
Pardon me?
Where does it start?
The pipeline?
Yeah.
I believe somewhere near Fort McMurray up in Alberta. Is that correct?
Is this? How much do you think it'll cost?
According to your research from you guys as students, somewhere around $7 billion to build.
How long will it take to build?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I think it will take a couple of years to build.
A couple of years?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are the possible outcomes?
Well, the possible benefits are lots more jobs for people, a big boost in the economy. Negative outcome possibilities would be damage to the environment through building it, damage to the environment if there's an oil spill, and a lot of damage to wildlife. We could see species go extinct. We could see species become endangered. We could see people that live along the coast have to move from their homes if there's an oil spill, and they have to live a completely different lifestyle. There's a lot of things that could happen.
How much land do you think will be destroyed due to this?
That's a good question. Just due to the building portion of the pipeline, you mean? Yes.
Both.
Okay. Well, the building portion, the pipeline's going to be a little bit underground, so they're going to have to dig around that area. So anywhere near there is going to be disturbed, at least for the time being. I think it could recover after the pipeline is settled in the ground several years later. But that's going to be thousands of miles to go from Alberta to British Columbia. And if there's an oil spill, that, especially in the ocean, it can spread everywhere. So that's, again, going to be thousands and thousands of kilometers of areas that are damaged. So,
Okay.
lots.
Thanks for your.
Alright, do you know about the Enbridge pipelines that they're trying to build?
I've heard a little bit about it.
Alright, and are you aware of how much it's going to be costing them?
No. Costing who? Who's them?
The Enbridge company.
No, I don't.
It's around $7.5 billion in the process of just building it. So just to let you know that. Alright, so what are your thoughts on the project?
Well, a little bit I know about it. It's going to produce some more jobs in BC. Is that correct?
That's
So
correct.
I do like that. But I've also heard a lot of environmental concerns. Is that true
That's
too?
true. That's true. A lot of ups and downs for this project, that's for sure. How do you think this will help the economy?
Well, I'm assuming that there's going to be more jobs. And obviously, there's going to be income coming out of the private industry into people's pockets to pay their bills, and they'll obviously be paying taxes on that money, which will help our government pay for resources and hopefully keep us out of debt. I'm also assuming, but you can correct me, that the government's going to be heavily taxing Enbridge and some of these companies that are going to be making use of the land and stuff through BC. So hopefully that will also bring revenues into BC and the province as a whole.
How do you think this will affect the environment, or the habitats for animals and all that?
How do I think?
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen with that?
Well, I definitely think there's going to be some habitat fragmentation taking place, and there's going to be a potential of obviously leaking pipes, which would have a negative impact on the environment. And I'm also concerned about when they load the tankers. Because they're going to load them at the port there on the ocean, and when they are going in and out of the inlet there, if there's an oil spill, that could be whenever oil is spilled into water, it spreads a lot further than the damage when it's on land. So it could have a real devastating effect there. So those are some of the major concerns I have.
Alright. And have you heard about the oil spill that happened in the Gulf of Mexico?
I did, I think that was about 4 years ago or so. Was that right?
About so, yeah. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow. Obviously, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So we did some bioremediation there, didn't we?
I'm not like sure about all the information about that. I'm just like, I just heard there was a lot of explosions, a lot of oil spilled into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now that it seems like it looks good, but I've heard that actually there's a lot of that oil has been settled on the ocean floor, so there's still issues there to deal with that we probably won't see the full-term effects for a long time.
So the possibilities of that happening on our oceans, on the Pacific Ocean, is possible too. Right? Just how it happened in the Gulf of Mexico. So, all right, thank you.
Hey, Matthew, how are you doing?
Fine,
Good.
you. I'm going to interview you about the pipeline.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you know, but you know what is a pipeline?
Well, I think you're talking about the pipeline which is going to go from Alberta to Port Rupert, North BC, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what problems the pipeline will bring to the environment?
What, the environment? Well, the major problem would be if there was an oil spill that'll contaminate the land. And also, they're going to make sure that they take the right route, they don't disturb too many streams and forests, etc.
Are you for or against the pipeline?
Well, I think that if it were done properly, it'll work, but there have to be a lot of safeguards.
Okay. You know the problem is the First Nations? Do you know anything about that?
Well, I think some of the First Nations don't want them to go through some of the lands, which is, they have the right to tell them not to do so, but I think the companies are negotiating with them.
Did you saw what happened in Gulf of Mexico a couple of years ago?
Tell me more about that, what happened there?
The Gulf of Mexico have a pipeline and you have an ocean. And you have a lot of oil spill in the ocean. It was huge damage for the environment.
Yep, well, that is a major concern, but this pipeline isn't going to the ocean, right? It's going to the ocean,
Yeah.
but not through the ocean. But yeah, there could be, that's a major problem. If there is an explosion, there's a leak, that could cause massive damage, yes.
Do you have anything for why you are for?
No, I didn't say I was for. I said that it will depend if there are enough safeguards, because if the First Nations benefit, if the whole economy benefits, but we've got to make sure they protect the environment and that they don't destroy too many streams where the salmon live, they don't destroy too many forests and our northern resources. So we've got to be careful how they build it and also if they protect the environment as they're doing it.
The pipeline will bring a lot of jobs though. But
Yep.
but one problem is, do you know how much jobs will be permanent?
I don't, well, there'll be some permanent jobs, I guess, at the port. At Port Rupert, there'll be permanent jobs, yeah.
Yeah, but the pipeline will be 1,000 jobs, but just 52 will be permanent. I think these are amazing.
I think the other thing also to bear in mind is that the First Nations people are benefiting as well, those who want to,
Yeah.
because they're getting money from the companies, yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.